So as you guys know, I love to cover transfers on this channel, and last night we found out another big time player is on the move. His production over the last few seasons hasn't exactly been elite, but he has a great backstory and will provide an instant impact to the school he is going to. His name is Tyreke Johnson, and he is a 5-star safety from the 2018 class, and he will be moving his talents from Columbus, Ohio to Lincoln, Nebraska. Johnson was famously offered a scholarship in 8th grade by Urban Meyer, became one of the top players in this class, and was expected to be one of the next great corners for Ohio State. Unfortunately, things have not worked out for him so far in his 2 years after he redshirted, and he will be headed to the Nebraska Cornhuskers, where he will be used immediately. Today we're going to talk about who he is, what his commitment means, and why this could potentially change the season for Nebraska. Let's get started. So before we talk about his move to Nebraska, we need to know who Tyreke Johnson is. He's originally from Jacksonville, Florida, and played high school football at Trinity Christian Academy, which is a really solid program. While he was there, he was teammates with a guy by the name of Deontay Williams, and he becomes important later because he's actually on the Nebraska roster. Johnson was a big-time recruit his entire high school career, and was one of the famous players to receive a scholarship offer from Urban Meyer in only 8th grade. He played varsity as an 8th grader, which I don't even know how that's possible, but he was always a contributor. He was part of 4 state championship teams while he was there, and he played on both sides of the ball. As a senior, he had 250 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns to go along with elite defensive play. He had a total of 113 tackles and 9 interceptions for Trinity Academy over his career, but that's not the most staggering part about his game. Out of those 9 interceptions, 6 of those actually went for touchdowns. If you think about it, 2 out of every 3 times he intercepted the ball, he was scoring points. I don't know about you, but that's pretty absurd. Everyone loved his size and his radar for the football, and that's what made Johnson such a threat. Eventually, when it came time to recruiting, Ohio State had left a lasting impact on him, as obviously he was offered in 8th grade, and he chose to commit to the Buckeyes over Clemson and UCLA. At that point, he was a high 4-star recruit, but as the rankings progressed, he only got bumped up. One scout from 24/7 Sports had this to say, quote, "His frame may lean more towards safety down the road once he fills out, but he can cover, and he loves to play on the island. His ball skills are like those of top wideout. He tracks the ball and picks passes off. Against the run, he is a solid tackler, and he doesn't shy away from contact." So yeah, he was obviously an elite talent, but apparently he was going to play corner. In an article I read, most recruiting services projected him as a safety, but he said he was going to Ohio State to play cornerback, and he wanted to be one of the next great corners for the Buckeyes. According to 24/7 Sports, he was the number 2 safety, a 5-star recruit, and the 21st best player in the class of 2018. He obviously had a ton of hype, but like every good player that goes to Ohio State, you're going to have to wait a little bit and work hard to get your spot. He would redshirt in 2018, but would only appear in 12 games over the next 2 seasons for the Buckeyes, and he never really got a ton of tackles. He unfortunately never found full-time work in the Ohio State secondary, as in 2020 he only played 77 snaps and was a projected reserve cornerback this year. The guys in front of him included Sevyn Banks, Cameron Brown, and Ryan Watts, and the Ohio State coaching staff must have hinted or told him that some of the younger guys were going to play instead. So now if we flip over to Nebraska, they are in major need of corners, as the transfer portal has hit them hard. They lost Cam Jones, CJ Smith, Will Jackson, Henry Gray, Ronald Delancey, and Jaden Francois, all to the portal, and when you lose 6 guys, eventually it's going to catch up to you, and the depth is just not going to be there. This is where Smith saw an opportunity to play for a prestigious program, get snaps right away, and potentially get a fresh start to save his career. He decided to enter the transfer portal and visited Lincoln about 10 to 15 days ago. He apparently loved the visit, and as of last Wednesday, he was in the system, so he did wait a couple of days to announce his commitment after he was already signed there. Tyreke wanted a fresh start, and he will get that in Lincoln. They have 2 bona fide safeties, and 1 starting corner in Cam Taylor-Britt, but the other starting job kind of remains up for grabs, and many believe that Tyreke has the talent and the abilities to win that. As of right now, some of the other guys in the mix include Quentin Newsome and Braxton Clark, and the main question I kept seeing on Nebraska blog posts is if Johnson can come in and beat these guys right away. Overall, at worst, this gives the Huskers another quality defensive back with Power 5 experience, and at the best, he puts together all his tools, his potential, and becomes one of the better corners in the Big Ten, or even in the country. One thing that's also underrated is he did play for a winning program in Ohio State, as I do believe that players that play in a culture like that will bring their attitude on how they play in practice over to their new school. When he committed to Nebraska, he took to Twitter and said, quote, "We live a party life, turned up all night, enjoy the moment." While I'm not a ginormous fan of how he worded his commitment to Nebraska, Hopefully he both has fun but also works hard to save his football career at Nebraska. I'm really excited for this transfer, and he's actually the 4th guy to transfer to the Huskers for the 2021 season. So yeah, overall I'm excited to see what Tyreke Johnson can do. He was one of those prodigies coming out of middle school and high school, and he should fill a need for Nebraska right away. It's important to have a great secondary, and if Tyreke can put it all together, then they have 4 tremendously good players starting next year, and that can change the narrative of the season. What do you guys think though? If you're a Nebraska or Ohio State fan, let me know what you think of Tyreke. Let me know another transfer I can cover next, another topic I could do next, and if you want to support today's video or the channel, be sure to like and subscribe, and check out all my other videos on the end screen. And I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.